All right. Man, I love that beat. Welcome to Knowledge and Relationships. This is your boy M3, back again with another stream. I know it's been a minute since I last streamed anything, but I'll tell you why in a minute. But first things first, I want to introduce you to one of my homies. His name is Lil Al. You
Hey
know,
Mario, thanks for having me, man.
no problem, Al. Man, appreciate you from joining the stream.
Yeah,
The
definitely,
title
no
of this
problem.
is yeah, anytime, man. The title of this, everyone, is called Story Time with M3. Shoot, I should probably rename this to Story Time with M3 featuring Al, but yeah, let's proceed. All right, so let me make sure I have my screen share on. All right, let me turn this off real quick. There we go. All right, first things first, man. Uh, like I said, I've been out MIA for like a little while. I haven't really been much like in social media until a little bit like around close like to like Thanksgiving time. Reason for that was because, um, well, one, if you don't know me by now, I have like a small little duplex, and right now I'm in the process of trying to sell it. So, long story short, we're pretty much like close like to our sale on our duplex, and we just had to get like the final things like touched up, and that's basically just small repairs that just needed to be addressed. And yeah, we're close to home. The big thing is that why I'm selling it is because I want my wife and I to finally be debt free, which will mean that we will start from ground zero, meaning that there's a good chance that after paying off all of our debts, and when I mean debt, I mean like we have a lot of debt. So after paying that off, we may start over from scratch. But at least the good thing is that like we learned from our experience from our first investment home. It helped us to buy our second home, which we live in. And we had so many great memories and so many bad memories as well too. But besides that, I'm back, and it's time to get down to like some of the fun stories. Now the thing is, I have a whole lot to really share, but the question is, which story should I start off first? And so I know for me, I like to take people down to like memory lane. Maybe give a or origin of how Mario became M3. How did I became the man that I am today? And this is all based off of experiences. So I'll start with this. There was this one time where, and it's not like I'm not gonna go like in a order of like maybe from this year all the way down to that year. It just whatever pops in my mind. All right, Al, can you still hear me?
Sure, yes.
All right, man. So I like to always talk about my single days, man, because my single days were like one of like the most like craziest. And so I remember a time where, and I think it really started off with me taking theater arts classes. Now, see, a lot of people probably don't know this about me, but um, I used to be very shy. When I mean very shy, like I had to drive to want to act because that was my main passion at that time was to become an actor. I wanted to be on TV, do commercials or whatever. But I had to start by learning the arts of critical thinking. And so to learn that is to take improv classes, which means like improvisation. So the improv class is basically you you create your own narrative from the top of your mind within a time limit. So it's more like it's like picture like speed dating. You're you're going to one date to the next. You don't really have enough time to like really have like a long intimate conversation. It is more of like kind of like a check-in and a check-out type of thing. So the thing is with us, okay, it helped me to overcome, okay, the fear of like stumbling or forgetting lines or messing up. And so I was taking that class and I met so many cool people, like so many cool friends, classmates, however you call it, really like down to earth type of people. And I felt like those people was like really was up my alley. Like I think in a mental, like I feel like they left a mental imprint of what a venture could have been like if we were all together, you know. Um, so some of the things that we've done like a lot of traveling, um, going to like different cities together, going to like a lot of parties as well. There was times like we just walking around and we're up in like in the hills. So where I'm from, like in Oakland, like there's areas like where you can kind of go walk around in the suburban type of areas or walk around the hills, and it's just so peaceful and so quiet. Now every now and then you'll see like a wild animal walking by, but for us it wasn't like no big deal. We just had each other, and that was it. And I remember like we'll be up there probably for like maybe like 11 or 12, like 11 at night to like maybe 1 or 2 in the morning. And there was this little school that was always open. I don't know why, but they always leave the gate open, and it had like a small little park. Excuse me. So it had a small little park with the swings and all that, and we're just swinging around, just talking about life, what we want to be, like our aspirations, all this other good stuff. So with that, you know, having like those chill times with a bunch of friends, not doing anything crazy as the world expects for it to be fun. I mean, to me, that was like my fun. But I always knew that good things doesn't last forever. Just like when you go through the bad times, you go through your rough patches, but that doesn't last forever, you know? And in another example of how what I could say is, like there was a time when, okay, so I would say our first year of our duplex, like we was like pretty much like flat broke. We spent so much money on items, getting things fixed up, and it seemed like there was always one problem to the next. And I remember times like where, man, my wife and I we were surviving off of like Monopoly coupons. Hey Al, do you remember like those Monopoly games?
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool. So you remember it. So like, those Monopoly games, like where you could like if you collect like certain pieces, or if you collect all these different houses or whatever, then you get to like win, I don't know, like a grand prize. Most people would try to say like, win $1 million and then you'll be cool. And then
Yes.
you'll be set for life or whatever. But you could kind of tell like most of those things was like kind of like a scam anyways, because you can never find that final piece that you're looking for just to strike it rich.
I
But
agree. Can I say something to that? I mean, I don't mean to
yeah,
cut
go
you off.
ahead. No, go
Like
ahead.
I never really like trusted those things anyway because I've always came really close, and I'm sure you have yourself though too. And like you said
Hmm.
about as far as like finding the final piece though, it always felt like as if it was just bougie in a way. You know what I mean? Because anytime that like you kept going back for a cup or anything like that, like say for example, like with McDonald's or any other restaurant company, what have you, that will have those, and next thing you know, it's just like you can't never seem to get your hands on that final piece, and it goes back to again, like you said though, it's just a scam.
Right, right. Yeah. No, I hear you. But shoot, the good thing that I'll say was this: um, with those Monopoly pieces, it helped us to get a lot of discounts and also like free lunches, um, from Safeway. So, and then besides that, there was also like food drives that we used to serve together, and then they'll give us like groceries like, at the end, like I think it was like every Saturday or Sunday. I don't know, every Saturday. And so I was so grateful for that because like when like it's like God gives you like the right timing when you're struggling, you know,
Amen.
and that's how I kind of felt like I was like, man, like I'm at a place where like we're struggling, but we're good, you know, and so and I'm not gonna say too much like as far as like um when you're dealing like with like tenants at the time, but I know that for me like I learned like a valuable lesson when it came to being nice, and you want to have that compassion for somebody, and you want to show like I know like as a black man you want to be like different from what other people like stereotype you as. But I don't even think like really it's like a black thing. It's more of like you got just in general, you can't be too nice. And I think we've kind of fell into the trap of just trying to be nice and try to be more merciful, but it came to bite us in the rear, pretty much in the long haul. And for like a long time, like we, just going through like a lot of things. Like I said, I can't bring up too much detail about it, but just know, like, man, we went through like a lot of hell dealing with that. But it still gave us like a good learning experience for us to know what not to do next time. Al, I'm gonna let you share some stories, man, because I know I could go on. And right now,
Yeah.
I haven't even got to like the good parts. I'm
Yeah.
just like trying to like warm up until we get some more people up in this chat. But I'm for sure like you got some stories that you like to share.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna start off with when I used to stay out there. I was actually solo, and it was a crazy experience, but had my ups and downs as well. But you know what? I managed to get through it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm gonna start off with how me and you first met. When I had my first apartment, it was crazy though because I was met from an ex roommate of mine's, and through a friend of ours, still to this day, Dario, and we was playing video games and whatnot, and I guess you can say that he's seen how good I was in Street Fighter or whatever video games he was playing at the time, and he
Mm-hmm.
said that he decided to bring you on through, and then that's how we became cool ever since then to this day. Yeah, and also too, I tell you, man, like since being out there, though, man, it has taught me a very, very lot because since I'm from a small town in the South and being out there for 10 years by myself and coming across cool people like yourself and other people, man, I tell you, man, it's one big place, I must say, and since being there from this past year, I tell you, man, it does bring back a lot of lot of good memories, not bad memories. I was gonna say, but I'll get to that soon. But it does bring back a lot of good memories that I've had there. since being there, and it basically helped me into the person I am today as well. And but as far as like with the bad memories I was gonna get to, um, I tell you though, it's funny how like women just judge you off of you know being yourself as far as like liking what you do as far as like hobby wise, like say for
Mhm.
example like playing video games, watching anime, things of those nature, and
Right,
you
right.
so quick to get judged upon by those things. And I feel like it's unfair because of the fact that like by you just being who you are instead of just going out here being something that you're not, it's like it's like, okay, like what is it that you want me to be? You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit up here and not be something that you want me to be. I mean, or that you want me to be, and then it's like, okay, and then you just can't accept me for the things that I am into, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Wow. That's because, like, honestly, the reason why women get mad at dudes who play video games is because of one thing that's taken away, and that's attention. So, and you know what? And back then, I could never really figure out why most women. I'm not going to say some because there's some women that are gamers, so they actually understand. But the majority of them, they don't play video games, but they get mad when we're like playing video games or when we're focused like on sports and watching TV. Yeah, I don't know if you ever, you know, had a girl that would get mad at you for like watching sports, but I know like a lot of guys went through that experience, and so like the reason why they do that, right, is because when you're playing video games, you're allowing the video games to take your attention away from them. See, you got to understand, every woman, right, seeks attention. They're like attention whores, all of them, you know. And when you're not really feeding into that, because your mindset is on trying to level up the next video game, then they're going to try to pretty much gaslight you and make you feel bad as if like you're some kind of like if you spend too much time on video games, then it makes you feel like you're a loser. Because then it's like, well, now you feel like you need to validate her to make sure that hey, like like she's like giving approval, like okay that you're not feeling a certain type of way that she's making you feel for spending a few hours playing video games.
Right.
Now, I, okay, I understand like if a guy doesn't have a job and if that's all you do is play video games and you're not making money off of it, then I can understand how they could be upset and why that should be like a conversation to be discussed. Because the main source would just be like, you're not doing anything productive to provide anything in the table for your household. But if you're a hardworking person and you have money and you're doing all the right things and playing video games is your leisure time, and she has a problem with that, then it's an insecurity type of issue because you're allowing those video games to take the attention away from her, and she does not like that.
Uh-huh.
That's the same thing if you're watching sports, but you're not paying attention to her. You get what I mean? They're just
Right.
selfish like that. Flat
Well,
out.
prior to that, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, and that you have a real valid point there. But what I'm trying to point out is to that
Mhm.
subject is the matter of fact of the is, I mean, what the matter of it is that say if okay, like you said though, like you have money, you're putting food on the table, bills are getting paid, et cetera, et cetera. And
Mhm.
like okay, she's doing her own thing, I'm in a room playing the video game or whatever the case may be, and it's like okay, but then she finds that as of me just like being a loser because I play those things, even though we done had our time, we done, like, say, for example, okay, like we've had a whole day, together, right? And then I
Mhm.
just tell her, like, okay, I'm gonna just play like one level of adventure game, or I'm gonna play a game of Madden or 2K, whatever the case may be. And then,
Right.
like, she'll find that as a problem. But then, yeah, I'm going to get back to her after I play this one game. That's the things that I'm talking about. And then not if, like, say if, okay, like, even if, okay, like, say if she gets off work and I'm playing a video game or whatever, and she just
Mhm.
looks at me like, oh my God, like, you're such a child or whatever like that, because you're still playing Sonic, or you're just playing video games in general. Those are the things that I'm talking about that can destruct a relationship just because of you just doing those things when you have your time to yourself.
Right. And and like I said, if you're doing the right things, you have the right to do whatever you want to do. Like I put it like this: anytime, like if any woman catch me playing video games, let's just say if I don't care if I'm at work and I have a hand and I'm on my phone or I'm playing video games. Let's just
Uh-huh.
say if I'm doing that, and if any woman complains about that, right? My only comeback would be like this: would you rather see your man play video games for a few hours, or would you rather come home and catch him cheating, laying
Exactly.
in bed with
Thank
another
you.
woman? So, would you rather watch him play with his joystick, or would you rather watch some other woman play with his joystick? If you know what I mean.
Right. Right.
You got those two options, baby. Like you choose one or the other. I'm not sugarcoating anything. Okay, so and I already know you're gonna choose the other option. So just let it be known. Fall back. You can either watch me play the video game, or I could pass the controller to you, and then you could play with me. But when it's my turn to play video games, I don't want to hear anything about it. Period. Now, I don't really have like I don't really have my wife complaining about I don't know me like playing like video games where she's like get off the game or whatever. She know what I'm doing, you know. Um, Plus a lot of times I'm kind of active anyways, so I don't really unless if I have like a week off from work, I that's when I probably might get into like the video games a little bit more on my leisure time. But other times, man, I'm just so wrapped up and busy. I barely even have time to even like pick up the joysticks. But that's a good topic, man. Like about the well, let me ask you this, Al.
Hmm.
It sounds like you went through that experience before. Can you tell me an elaborate story? Like, okay, did you have like a girl or a girlfriend or female friend um who judged you for playing video games? Did you ever get into an argument, or did it ever lead to like a breakup? Like, I want you to be specific. Like, just share me like your story real quick.
Sure, absolutely. It happened, at a time where it was me and another guy friend that I'm still cool with. Um, and what happened was is that, like, me and her had met, back in Redwood City a while. Well, I want to say not even necessarily a while, but it was like maybe a few years ago. Excuse me for saying that, but anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was that, like, we was all just out hanging out, having a good time, and one night, um, I had came to the house, and she had told me that they was going to come through, and I said, okay, that's fine. But then, so as I was waiting on them, I was playing the Sonic the Hedgehog version off of Dreamcast. I was on the PS2 or PS3 version at that time. So as I was waiting on them, they had came through because I had the door unlocked on for them and everything. And so she so happily see me right there on my bed playing the game. And she looked at me and she looked at the TV and she was looking at me like, seriously? And I'm like, what? And she's over here like, you're playing this right here. I'm like, okay, what's the problem? I was waiting on y'all though. I mean, I'm just in the middle of trying to beat this boss level. What's the problem? Well, it's just the fact that, you're just, playing this and don't you kind of think that's for kids? I'm like, okay, every, body that's a gamer plays this, including grown people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so, from that point on, I'm like, okay, so why are you judging me for this? She was like, it's just the principle of you being a grown man, and most grown men don't play video. I'm like, but yes, some grown men do that are gamers like myself do. I mean, this is like what I do on my, time off that I have for myself. And I said, is that a problem? And she was like, well, I'm just not sure about this. And I'm like, okay, well, if that's a problem, then there goes the door right there, because I'm not going to argue with you over something that I like to do in my spare time. Of course, I was going to give you the time and need that you wanted, because I didn't want you to come over here, to my house or the room that I was renting at the time. I just didn't want to exclude you from, from this, even though I was getting done with it. But yet, you over here judge me for it. So I just told her, I said, man, well, hit the road, Jack.
Hit the road, Jack. Yeah. Shout out to Anton, man. It was like Street Fighter, baby. That's right. Man, I remember those days, man. Street Fighter, Street Fighter 4. That was the game right there. Unlike,
yes, it was.
I was on Street Fighter 5. That crap was hella boring. But Street Fighter 4, oh man, like, oh dude, actually, I remember the times like when I was like, and this was like just only for like a month, man. But I was staying over at a household in a downtown area, and almost like every night, like we'll have like Street Fighter parties, and me and the homie, man, we always like just go back to back, man. One of his characters, I think it was like Sagat, and I was playing Ken, and I ain't gonna lie, man, like no cap, he was like destroying us in Street Fighter. I wouldn't say like too bad, but I if you're on there still at that time, you're watching, I still need to get my rematch somehow.
Hey, I remember you used to dog me up on it, man, with Ken, though, man, with those counterattacks, though, man. You was very slick.
Right. Hey, but I mean, it helped me to get better for Street Fighter 5 for that brief time. I mean, I don't know if it's a good time for me to bring up, but remember when they had like that 50 win streak?
Oh man. Oh. Wow. Yo, man, that right there, yo, man, that was record breaking, man. Oh my god, dude.
Look, I don't know how, to this day, I don't even know how that I even got that far to a 50 win streak. I just remember for like 3 hours, yo, we was like just going ham back to back. And I remember, okay, at my 49th win, like it was down to the wire. I remember you got me with a super move. And it was like I was at a pinch. Like you could just blow your hot breath on my face and I would have died. And I don't know how I was able to come back from that. But that's how I was able to get up to like 50, and oh boy, those are some days, man.
Man, good times though, man. For real. Like, yo, that hey, you remember how we used to go at it though when I think it was Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and it was me, you, Kennard, and Ed, I believe, at the time.
Oh man, yeah. Dante, that was a cheating character, man.
Yo, ooh. Ed was crazy with him. He was crazy. Like you can't even touch Ed with Dante, man. Man, I miss those days.
I miss those days too. Or remember the time when it was me, you, Kennard, and Alonzo, and we was over at his crib, and we was playing. Was we was playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 or was it 3?
I
I feel like we
think
was
it
playing.
was. I think it was that one. Yeah.
Man, that was like the best night of all of us just going over to his place, and we were just going crazy, man.
Yeah, we were. Like, man, like I'm telling you, like, man, I mean, if there was a way, like, with like all of us could just have a reunion night, just for one night, man, that'd be awesome. Like I take a flight out there or something, then we all just come together, man, and we just kick it, man, just for one good night, man. Just going at it like we used to.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like I ain't gonna lie, I would love that.
But
Um,
see, see things like that. I mean, man, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to reuniting and just having a good time. And see, that's us being ourselves, and versus like woman judging our characters of those of things like that. That's when, like I said, though, we should never be characterized because of that, and because of that, you know, uh we are corny. You know what I mean? We're losers, like you said. Though we're just not justified as to what they picture us as men. In a sense, because of that, because of us being those things, we're basically quote unquote childish.
yeah, okay, we're quote unquote childish, but what about the other things that women do that that are childish, but we don't say nothing about it? Like here's the thing, man. The reason why most women don't play video games, well, electronically, is because they play those type of games in real life.
Right.
See, these type of games is the life of men, trying to get the most high value men as much as possible. Try to get the most successful, the most good looking, the most well to do type of men. And their competitors is other women when they like to compete.
Mm-hmm.
So, the objective is put a bunch of like makeup, make yourself look like a clown as much as possible because you think that's gonna win the man over. Shave your goddamn eyebrows and then
Mm-hmm.
tattoo it or put a like little like mark on there, like a jackass,
Right.
and thinking like, oh, okay, this guy's gonna look at you, and then up to the point when probably by the time when you guys reach up to the bedroom status, you know, and he wakes up and you take all that clown crap off of your face, then he's looking at you like, who the hell are you?
Right. You're
You
not the
know?
same person that I saw the other day. You know.
Yeah. So come on, like let's not forget about like the cat fights, the pettiness that women be doing, but yet, they say women are more mature than boys, you know, yet they say that women are smarter than
Mm-hmm.
men. Now they have a better sense of intuition than
Mm-hmm.
what guys have.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give them that. But when it comes to critical thinking, they're all too highly emotional to even think for their own. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why you need a man to come into place to help correct and fix stuff. See, we just like to chill, man. We want the peace. We're not trying to go through all this drama. We're just
Right.
trying to chill, play our video games, and just relax.
Right.
But women don't know how to relax.
Right.
So that's why when when you go through these things, it's because that they don't see life. They feel like life is all about them, and I don't really blame them for thinking that way. It's because you have a bunch of beta male simps, some chimpanzees, that comes along and tells them everything that they want to hear. You have them come along, tell them how beautiful they are, and then you revolve your whole entire life around that particular woman instead of just enjoying life, having fun, being around with your friends, your family. You know, you're so focused on trying to secure the deal with this woman that you'll do pretty much. Guys will just do anything for them. You know, and that's why they get that entitlement. Ooh, excuse me. That's why they get that entitlement, and they judge us based off what they feel like we should be doing. And if it's not in the norm of their own um, agenda, then they have a problem with that.
Mhm.
So, but you know what? Moving on. Before I get into the next story, I just want to let you guys know sharing is caring. Please donate to my Cash App. It's the $ Mario Marion. You see the little thing that's scrolling down, and I have a Cash App. So if you like to support the stream, please donate. It will be very helpful. At the same time, I have a knowledge and relationships channel on YouTube. So please take your precious time to log into your YouTube, watch my video because it helps build up the algorithm. Like, comment, subscribe, and share my videos, please. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way, you'll be alert and you'll get just to catch up with all my content, even the live action ones as well too. But thank you guys for watching. Now, so what story should I start off with? All right, I want to talk about. There was this class that I was taking, and Al, you can still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, just to be sure, is my mic clear? Like everything's good?
Oh yeah, everything's good, brother.
All right, all right, all right, all right. So I was taking a critical thinking class. It was a class that helps to improve for people who have ADHD, and it's supposed to help build like the muscle memory. So at the school that I went to, it also had college courses that you could take as a high school student. And there was it was this girl, and I'm trying to remember. Do I remember her name? I don't remember her name. But for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna call her Jessica. Because it sounded like her name would have been Jessica. So, anyways, so I noticed Jessica with her mom, and she was mixed. She was white and Hispanic. So at that time, I was I was like pro black. So my mindset was like, I'm only going to just date black women, and I'm not going to date any other race besides them. And so, but this one in particular, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, man, I might have to reconsider being pro black because she was pretty, but for me, I was also pretty insecure, and so um, I was still at my stages where I haven't really overcome my shyness, and I didn't really know how to really engage in a proper conversation. So I consider myself at that time to be socially awkward around new people. But I remember like the times like she'll just like just chase after me. Like she'll stare at me with her eyes like just like for a good 5 to 10 minutes. I'm like doing my notes like all nervously, and then I look up, and then she's just like just staring at me like this. And I'm like, damn, like girl, like do you ever blink? You know? But I
She
knew
was
right then,
fantasizing.
like, yeah, I was like, man, like I don't know if with your eyes are you stripping me naked or what, but I was just like, damn, like she got her eyes like locked on me, man. Uh, so I remember walking down the hall, and then so like she slowly walks up to me, right, and then she's giving me the eyes, like I don't know how you girls be doing it, but y'all be like all like this. So so I'm like, I'm like, even in my shyness, like I still would say like hi, like hey, hi, how are you? Blah blah blah. And it's like, hi, what's your name and all that. So like, we're talking and yeah, she seemed like she was a cool person. She had a cool little personality. She was friendly. And I remember in high, but still at school, um, I was talking to one of my classmates, and I just remember she comes along, she like booty bumps me, and keep in mind, like, I mean, she had a nice figure. She was like bam, and she was like that, right? And and my guy was like, ooh, okay. Like, I see you, Mario. Like, you got these white women over you, right? But like I said, keep in mind she was white and Hispanic, but um, we're all ignorant. So of course we look at just like one race and not like even think about mixed races or whatever. But um, I was like, oh, she's just a friend, and blah blah blah, just getting to know her. And long story short, um, there was two incidents. One, she started to open up about her life story, and I didn't know what to really do or how to like react. I just know she was just sitting down, and I just asked her what's wrong, and she just quickly opened up. She was like, um, I suffered through depression, and I tried to cut myself, and I went through this, I went through that through life, and I just felt so bad. Like part of me was like, I know she's telling me this story, but another part is like maybe she's sad is because I'm not giving her the validation that she's looking for. You know, I'm not being a man and just owning what I want. But at that time, I didn't really. I had like a lot of women talking to me, but for me, like I was like just really picky. Like I just didn't like. I'm not going like I'm not the type of guy that would just be like, all right, I'm just going to stack on stack and stack and just juggle with a whole bunch of different women. I was just so picky at that time in high school. I'm just like, look, if I want you, I want you. If I need you, I need you. But I'm not going to waste your time. I just thought it just wasn't fair for me to like lead people on. You know. Now, I mean, looking back now these days, like hell, I probably would have done it. And just enjoy as much as I can in life. But okay, so she told me that story, and I didn't know how to react, so I was just quiet, and I was like, oh wow, that was just like the first thing that came in my mouth, like, oh wow, and you know, I think I probably said something religious. I think I probably told like, hey, look, like God's gonna take care of you, or you shouldn't do this or whatever, something like generic. But I didn't really know how to deal with that type of emotion, and then that pushed me even further back away from her because then I got scared because I'm like, well, you know, I hear like a lot of crazy women You know, I watched and I probably got traumatized by Fatal Attraction. You know, the Martin Lawrence movie. And I don't know. Whenever I hear someone talk about they slit their wrists or whatever, or you know, any type that relates to suicide, I was like, oh man, she a crazy chick. You know, she might try to cut me up.
Right.
You know, if I ever did her wrong.
Give you second thoughts.
Exactly. And the last time that I saw her, I was walking down the neighborhood, and at that time we had Blockbuster. So I just left from Blockbuster, and then I ran past like her and her mother, and they gave me her number. And oh Lord, I don't know what happened to the number, but I was literally gonna give her a call. Now, my thing was I was going to invite her out to church, and because at the time I was going to like this church in the ghetto, and I thought this would be a good time maybe for us to bond, get to know each other, or whatever. But I lost the number, and I was like, "Oh shoot, man!" Like the one time that I felt like I was ready to make a friend, or maybe I don't know, settle down, get a girlfriend at an early age, the number disappeared, you know, and I don't know why it just stuck to my head. Like to this day, I was like, man, you know, I don't even know if the girl's still alive. I don't even know how her lifestyle is. I'm for sure she probably already have a boyfriend by now, or maybe she probably have kids, or maybe she probably got fat. Who knows? But I think if I ever did run into her, I probably wouldn't even recognize her, you know. So you know, so every now and then, like those girls from the past kind of comes to my mind. Just wondering, okay, man, how is she doing? And I know, like, I wasn't like a good person to her, so you know, it's just like these like thoughts that's like, man, I hope she's just doing okay. I wish her and her mom the best in life. And who knows? She probably was like a rich girl though. I would assume, because I think they stayed like in a nice sized house or whatever. From what they was telling me, that was like the last time I talked to them. So
I have a question. So like, even though I know you said that like when you saw a different race in her or whatnot, like what really made you like be like pro black at the time? Like what made you still have that type of mindset even though like you accepted diversity at this point?
I think at that time, because I didn't understand like other cultures, and when you grow up with a black family, like that's just what you're used to. And so, and that's a good question because I never really understood what made me go pro black, only probably because you usually hear your mom tell you like the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. And
or the once you go black, you never go back or something.
Exactly. So like you hear about black power, black love, black history. You hear about what the slavery times or whatever. And so I think at that time I didn't want to deal with like probably like the racism that comes along with it. And it was also a stereotype too because at the time we had like a lot of BET showing music videos, MTV, and you see like the girls that with the big old butts and they're just shaking it, jiggling it. And,
yeah.
You don't see the what's it called, the cellulites or whatever, the ones that's like you don't see no wrinkle asses. They just put it like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, yo, that's the definition of a black woman. Big boobs, big butt, no wrinkles. But I saw that in white women. One of my neighbors who was white, she had she had a nice round figure like a black woman, but when she was wearing shorts and I saw her legs, I saw all kinds of wrinkles. And I think and I think that's where like my mindset was like, oh my gosh, if one white woman have all those wrinkles, they all have those wrinkles on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what kind of like turned me off because I wasn't educated. I was just thinking that okay, um, because the especially the the women who I messed with that was black or a little mixed, like anytime any type of woman that had some type of melon in her, like I kid you not, I didn't see like those flaps around like her thighs and her butt and hips and all that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it was something about black women to this day where it's like the majority of them it's like they're kind of toned, like you
Mm-hmm.
could feel every muscle into that. And for me, I was always attracted to strong girls, like fitness girls, bodybuilders, however you call it, right? You
Mm-hmm.
know, and so I feel like Samoan and African American women, like they were like my type, you know, at that time. But I mean, hell, I mean, now these days, especially after the pandemic, you know, you're seeing all kinds of jelly rolls, and it could be black, white, whoever. But yeah, I think that's why I kind of had that pro black mindset because I really wanted to connect with the black sisters. Um, I wanted to. I guess I kind of end up with that Captain Save a whole type of mentality.
Yeah.
Give like these women the benefit of doubt of everything,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like, well, um, I wanted to see like to show them the good side of the African American community because there's still good in a lot of us,
Mm-hmm.
like of black love and all that. And I feel like it wasn't advertised as much because the
Mm-hmm.
media just want to make it seem like we're just like a hot mess, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody talks about the Mexicans that's a hot mess, within their families, But they
Right.
don't, because they keep their stuff. They're more conservative with it, you know. Where black people, we're just out in the open. We'll tell on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, when we get hurt. Um, but other races, they know when to shut their mouths up, you know.
Right.
So, but I'll say this, like now these days, and I find it kind of funny because I am married to a black woman, of course, but if let's just say like if I was never married and this is still 2020, like I I would probably be like where you're at right now, Aladdin, where you're attracted to other nationalities other than just like your own race. And I think what gave me like what changed my mindset was I actually saw the value of other nationalities. Now that's I'm not this now this is not me putting down on black women, not at all, period. But just as I see black women to be um, beautiful, I also see Mexicans to be beautiful in their own way. I see white women that's beautiful in their own way, and Asians and all that. It's just that what I realized, like, it doesn't matter what race you are. What matters is that you look good, you're pretty, you know how to get in the kitchen and cook me a meal, you know, and you have a cooperative type of attitude. Because when for us men, when we do so much to self improve on ourselves and to become high value and have our mindsets change where it's like, man, I've completed, I've come to so much success that even if I was not to have a woman, I will still be okay with life, you know. But but yeah, so I it, it's crazy because I always I think about it like every now and then I was like, man, what changed my mindset? I remember I like it was black or nothing, you
Mhm.
know. But I think also too, I didn't really now these days like I don't really see a lot of like if I was to focus like on one race, I my options would be short and because you don't really see like a lot of you don't really see like a lot of beautiful women on these days. There's a lot of women, more women than men, but not all of them are good looking, and not all of them have an athletic type of body, you know. And I'm not even saying I'm super athletic. I'm well built. Like I'm better than what I was like a year ago. A year ago, I was just flat out of shape, weighing in 230 pounds. Now I'm down to like maybe 180 on average, and I know I have the capability to go down to 175. But but the point is, like, as you start to work on yourself, you start want to you start wanting more like better for yourself. You know what I mean? And I'm grateful to have a wife that, um, although she's not like an athlete, but she has a well built type of body. Like I could literally wake up in the morning and just stare at her face. You know, just look at her. Not every married man is fortunate to wake up with a beautiful woman. I'm just gonna be flat out honest. And this may sound harsh, but I don't blame them if they want to go look outside, you know, of their marriage because you chose you chose an ugly duckling.
Or
You
if they
know,
have their back, facing towards them, and then they just wake up with their face turned like, I'm just I'm just gonna go, I'm just gonna go have a walk or something,
exactly. Look, man, you don't want no woman that's looking like your auntie, man. Like flat out. All right. You don't want a woman that already hit the wall at the age of 25 too soon.
Oh man, tell me
You
about it.
don't want that. And I'm not, and honestly, I don't even know why I'm even hesitant to even speak up on that part because the thing is, oh man, so many stories, man. I remember there was a time that a woman had high demands, very high demands, right? She's telling me about what she want in this guy. He gotta be 6 feet tall. He gotta
Oh,
make 6 or 7 figures.
don't
Uh,
even get me started on
he
that.
gotta he gotta have the 6 pack. He gotta have the muscles. He gotta be super good looking, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know me, like I'm always like challenging them, asking questions. And I'm like, well, what the hell do you have to offer, right? And someone just flat out said like, I ain't gotta offer them anything. I'm a woman, you know.
Wow.
They
See?
should like they will be lucky enough to be in the grace of my eyes because I get to choose them, right? And part of it, I can see them being correct, But part of me could see like, man, you're very entitled and delusional, man. I
Right.
mean, it. What type of man in his right mind will date somebody who is out of shape, belly all hanging low? You ain't got no good job yourself. You ain't the only thing you
And
picking
you
up
have high
is those
priorities.
Twinkies.
Yeah.
So
I mean, can I say something prior to that? I mean, I
yeah,
myself, I mean, see, the thing is to me, right? When it comes to like women being out of shape, like, see, I'm a BBW. What I mean by BBW is big, beautiful women type of guy. I like big girls. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and
I'm
that's
not
good.
ashamed to
That's
say it.
good.
My lady, she's a big girl, but she's well shaped. You know what I'm saying? I like her.
Mhm.
You know, I'm glad that she's shaped like a Spartan basketball. You know, she's
Yeah,
not all like bent out like a like how can I say it, like a what you call like a
your woman
beach
is a
chair in a sense.
she's a plus size model.
There you go. So
Yeah.
and see the thing is that when it comes to women that who let themselves be out of shape because they done lost self dignity. Because
Mm.
they just feel that okay because of them being big. And see, not a lot of guys like big women in a sense, but it has to do with like in order for a guy to like, want to be with a big girl, she has to have like all the above. Like, what I mean, she has to be well shaped, she has to be have a cute face, like she has to be perfect. Even if she's just decent, she has to be perfect because if she's okay looking, if she's just cute, that's not good enough, you know? And see, to me, I feel like that's where, to me, in my opinion, I feel like if the guys that feel like because I was in this category myself, I feel like I couldn't get no girl when I was out there. Like you say, you had a lot of women. Man, I wish I could have been in your shoes back then because, sure enough, I couldn't get a girl to talk to me to save my life, and I've always had bad luck because you remember the stories I used to tell you all the time, and I had bad luck, And speaking of priorities, I've had a girl, man, where I've talked to her off a website. And you know what she told me? She told me, she said that because I was going to meet up with her to go to a movie in Hayward. And she had told me, she's like, well, do you have a car? I'm like, why does the car have to do with us going on a date? And she told me, she said that, well, if you don't have a car, don't plan on me being a taxi. I was like, well, I was just going to meet you. I said, I never asked you in the first place about, coming to pick me up or anything. I was going to meet you on the bus. You know what she told me? She told me, she said, well, I hope you don't do that because I don't want to be embarrassed.
I'll tell her bye, bitch.
Huh?
I'll just say bye, bitch. And that's the one time I'm gonna say that word. You
I
know?
mean, and the thing is, they're so oblivious. It's like they're not even aware of like how it is to make it out there. Like I told you, for my last subject, I was out there by myself, man, and it was tough enough that the rent I was paying plus other stuff. You know what I'm saying? I had to save up for and just taking care of my priorities. It was hard enough to me to be able to meet those guidelines in order to move up in the ranks as far as like getting the one that I wanted at that time. But
Mm-hmm.
because of those things that I did not have, hell, I'd have had a girl, man, drop me for some damn Wendy's chicken nuggets, dude. After I took her out to the movies, got wing stuff, everything was cool until the next day. I asked her to bring me $1 chicken nuggets. Not like I was asking for steak, lobster, and shrimp. I basically was just asking her, hey, could you, get me some dollar chicken nuggets? I'm not sure if we talked about this in the last video, but anyway, I asked her that. She told me, oh no, nah, we have to stop talking because this reminds me too much of my ex, and that I need somebody to be on the same uh subject with me about getting this money, whatever. You seem like not to meet those standards. I'm like, what? I said, I had the money right here for you. Like, what's the problem? Well, you know what? I think it's just best me you just stop talking because how can you not have any money though? And you asked me for some chicken. I'm like, because you was finna care to come on over here anyway. So she just stopped talking to me because of that. Stupid stuff, man.
That shit
But
crazy, man. I
it
tell
is
you.
crazy. But you know what though? see, I didn't have that mindset like I do now, like not caring anymore because of the fact that like it made me stronger. But I was so naive and just like, had the mindset of thinking I was a problem. Like, what am I doing wrong all the time? You know what I'm saying? But the problem wasn't me. The problem was them. And see, by the lady that I have now, man, she made me into the person I am today. Not even going to front. You know what I mean? Because she made me stronger. Because I've told her these things that I went through, and she told me that, well, from my understanding, is that it was not you, it was them. From a woman's standpoint, because of the
Mhm.
fact of the matter is that you wasn't, they wasn't for you. You know what I'm saying? Period. Because only thing is we're looking forward to what you had, not for who you are. And from
That's
and see,
true.
from being out there, though, Mario, I just, from my understanding, man, from what I've experienced, though, man, they are very materialistic based, very. Despite the cost of living, man, they are very materialistic out there. I understand that everywhere you go is different. I get that. Everywhere, I'm saying, you're gonna have, your difficulties here and there. You know what I'm saying? But from my experience out there, though, man, they are very, very materialistic.
No, I hear you. Like, see, the thing is, man, and your woman is spot on this one, right? They wasn't for you because they don't match the type of energy that you had to offer. You know, I mean, of course, everything happens for a reason, which is why you moved out, then you met your girl, and now you guys have a cool relationship, and you guys are engaged. Congratulations again.
Thanks,
But
appreciate that. Just blessed to, finally have, you know, somebody like her, because like, you know, going back to, what you were saying as far as like, if you wasn't, engaged to a good woman, that you have in your life that you finally, got blessed with yourself as well too. I honestly, man, think that, the what if I was still out there, I probably would have been still single to this day because of the fact that the way they are. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even be trying to look for anything. And as hard as it is to try to get, what I'm saying, a woman's attention out there, though, is very difficult because I've went a whole week, brother, a whole week. I'm telling you, I swear, I went a whole week. Well, yeah, a whole week, right? Each day I was talking to a different girl. I was asking, hey, how you doing? May I get your number? I understand that you're busy, whatever, on your way to something, but can I get your number? I've had at least maybe about two out of the about 5 or 10 of them give me the number. But the second one, I remember this to this day. She gave me a number to a restaurant. Now, how messed up is that?
mm, she gave you her number at a restaurant.
She gave me a number to a restaurant. Not her actual number, but a number to a restaurant.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's that's kind of deep.
I mean, that's just the way it is. But you know what? I had to understand that it's just the mindset of a person where she's walking on the same sidewalk as I am, and here you are giving me a number to a restaurant, like you high almighty and stuff. Like, first of all, I understand you don't know me, I don't know you. But for you to do that, it only tells me how childish you can be. So therefore, it's like, okay, I'll take that L. But at the same time, I got tired of to the point where I was getting dissed. And then I've had people that I was hanging around with as well, though, too, at that point in time. And I'm not afraid to admit I was hanging out with these people from work, and they would tell me you have to be consistent. You have to not let them get the best of you. Yeah, that's true. I understand to not let them get the best of me, but at the same time, you get tired of stuff. You get to a point where you just be like, you know what, enough of this. Because you
Yeah,
get, you just see it in your face, and you just be like, well, all right, why is it that again, or why I'm having bad luck? Why is it that this? Why is this? And now there's other stuff. And
yeah.
before I stopped, I'm gonna make this short.
Okay.
It was one time I was at a club. I think it was up on A Street. I think it's called the Juice or something like that over there, right across the street from the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
And I was out there and stuff with some coworkers, whatever, and it was this girl that, she was a BBW herself, and she's very attractive, and had me thinking that she was interested in me and whatnot. But come to find out, like, if it was a setup, but I didn't see this coming. Now,
Setup.
it
Okay.
was a setup. So
Ooh.
the reason why I say this is a setup, because she was dancing with me or whatever, and then after that, she kind of felt bad for me. She was like, "Oh, Al, whatever, like that, blah blah blah." So one of the guys at the time, he was, new and stuff. He was cool cat, and so she went over there to the VIP section, and she sat with him, gave him, I'm talking about like gave him the whole night. They was over there just on Facebook when it first blew up and stuff, and then
Yeah.
all the shenanigans, and then the people that I was with, they was all like, "Oh, where's she at?" I'm like, "She's right over there." He was like, "What?" Like, "Man, don't even worry about her, man. There's man, a lot of other women that's up in here." I was like, "Nah, man, I'm cool. I'm just gonna go ahead, just go home." "Why you gonna go home for that?" For I'm like, "Well, it's because of the fact that, man, she made me feel like as if that she was interested in me, but I felt like that, I'm saying, it was a setup. I felt like y'all set that. What you mean we set this up for?" I'm like, "Because of the fact that, man, y'all was telling me that she was, willing to go home with me, and stuff like that. But then again, she goes to somebody else. And then, long story short, before the night had ended, or should I say, when it ended, the guy that she was sitting with at the club ended up taking her home, no dude. And I left with nothing. I got embarrassed the whole entire night.
Mm.
Yeah. So, that right there was pretty much a confident killer. That's why I just say, you know what? If I go out somewhere and if it's a whole bunch of like, women and whatever, like, even if they just been dancing by themselves, I'm not even going to even budge, because why? I'm scared of the outcome.
I got you though. Before I even get to your story, right? Um, Shout out to Tusa Bees. It says a S. Oh, Tusa Best 27. She said, in my opinion, being delusional and focused on superficial looks falls short to what a person truly needs to be content. Because at the end of the day, it falls down to character and personality. And appearances are important, but the chemistry and personal connection is what keeps a relationship. And, you know, I definitely agree to that. Um, but see, that it depends, like, if you're looking for a relationship. So, Al, for your story, this was pretty much like a woman who's pretty much who's young, probably good looking, and want to take advantage of all the options that is thrown at her. So her thing is like she was just pretty much like looking for a one night stand. She probably just wants you to hit and tap dance on her, and then just end the night and just quit it. But because you was looking for a relationship, um, you didn't really see like the big picture of it. Now, like I said, that doesn't mean you should feel bad about that decision, because that's what you're looking for. It's about what you want. It's not about what that hoe wants. Okay. And so, but what she wants is that she's just trying, like, get some digging sticks or whatever inside her system. You know, probably at that time, let me see. I probably say she's trying to get that PlayStation 2 or that PlayStation 1 era. You know what I mean? And just figure out.
Right.
We didn't have the little button sticks to mash at that time. She just trying to get those. You
Right.
know? And so, like, dude was like, hey, it's like, okay, well, if you don't want it, all right, let me go ahead and just slide on in, you know? And, and they had an awesome night playing video games real life. So, it's every woman is not meant for you, just like you're not meant for every woman, you know? You gotta have a person. Except if you're looking for a serious relationship, that's where, like I said, Tusa B's comment comes into play, because you gotta have that chemistry. You know, And yes, I do agree, Elida. When it comes down to it, it's really all about your mindset, the way how you think. Um, shoot, I'm trying to think. There was like another story that I want to say, and hmm, what was this?
Mhm.
I have okay. So there was this one short story, and then there was another story that I cannot remember. But if it comes to my mind, I'll definitely call it out. Okay, so I and before I even get to that story, going back to like what you said before, like you wish that you was in my shoes. I'm like, no, oh boy, no. Like you trust me, you don't. It may look good and fun on the outside, but on the inside, I'm like, I made far too many mistakes in my choice, my interaction with women, where like I could. It's like I could open up the door, but I didn't know how to close it. I didn't know how to seal the deal, you know. And that was my problem because I I relied on the looks far too much more than the charisma. And at that time, I didn't really have I didn't really have this masculine mindset or understanding of how to treat women. I was more focused on like thinking that okay, I'm going to be better than all the other guys that treat them. They treat them like garbage, but I want to treat them like gold. And that was my mistake on that part because you start to worship and put women on a pedestal. And this is going to be, it's going to sound backwards, but I realize now these days, like especially from the women of today, these modern women, they don't have that old school mindset where it's 50-50, where they give you a reason why you should put a ring on it. These are the type of women, um, and thank God these are not the ones that we're in relationships with, but the ones that you do see. The problem is they want to see you after when you come up, but they never want to offer you anything.
Right.
It's like they want to be in a position of power and control. But once you give them that power and they change your life according to how they want they want your life to be, then they get bored and then they move on to the next.
Right. After you hit rock bottom. Right. It's
Not even if you hit rock bottom, is that after you become a submissive male female, pretty much, then they don't need you no more because at that point
mm-hmm.
they're looking at you like you're weak. See, I know it doesn't really make sense to like a lot of guys, but trust me on this one. Women love a man who could take charge. And although they love to be in control, but they really want to follow a man's lead. So flat out, they're going to shit test you all the way, but you have to hold frame. That's where the mindset kicks in, and you have to learn not to care by taking them too seriously. A lot of us take women too seriously and fail to remember that women are highly emotional.
Hmm. Kind of
One
almost
day,
like mind control in a sense.
yeah, it's like 1 minute they're like, "Oh, lovey dovey," the next minute they're like,
Yeah, the
"Oh, God."
bipolar effect.
Yeah, think about it like this. Like they're bipolar on steroids. And so you have to treat it like, okay, I'm not gonna take this woman personal because she's gonna get emotional, she's gonna start crying, you know, and I'm not gonna engage into emotions by getting into an argument. Now, I'm not saying be a robot, you know, but you gotta like stand firm in what you want, basically. This is not about what society wants for you, but it's about what you want for yourself, if that makes sense. And that's what makes you desirable. Um, Not that you're treating them like shit or garbage, because it's not about that. You know, just to make it clear, we're not about treating women like they're like not human beings. You know, because I still love women and I still respect them. But the thing is, I have enough social awareness to not engage in how the woman feels. I have enough self love for myself to run through my own agenda and my own program.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see, from Tusa Best 27. Some people create their own illusions of what they desire, but don't realize that they don't bring nothing to the table. That's a good one. Nowadays, people don't want to commit, so they pick up and drop people off quick.
Nail in the
Wow, that
coffin on
go.
that one.
Yeah. Okay, allow. I see why you putting a ring on it. Yo, she's spot on, man. I agree. It's a it's like everyone's in their own fantasy land. But the simple thing is, all you gotta do is just take a time and be a friend. Also, I want to say that it's this too, though. A lot of a lot of men and women, the reason why relationships are dysfunctional is because we're living off of fear. And what I mean by that is that we don't take we don't have enough confidence in ourselves to take a risk. We don't want to get our hearts broken,
Right.
so we self sabotage ourselves. You know what I mean?
Right.
We do all these stupid, childish things, get into these arguments, playing all these mind games because we want to be the captain of our own ship. And when that happens, in the long run, it'll never work out. And that's why the majority of people are still single because no one wants to no one wants to put the cards on the table. You know, nobody wants to clean the dishes. It's like people just want to be. They just want everything handed to them. It's like you're asking God to be a genie, but God ain't gonna give you nothing that you haven't worked for,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the problem with these people, man.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think of. All right, so this is like a funny story, right?
Hey, you know what
So
though? I just thought of something. Before
okay,
we
go ahead.
move on to the next subject. You know, to me, I feel like when it comes to that, like when it comes to all these mind games and stuff, I just see, I just feel like it's that it is a point where, like, okay, you know what? I've been told this, that you have to have game, if you will. Like, it's almost like as if you have to use a strategy guide in order to, grasp a woman's attention, what I'm saying, to get them to where like they're very intrigued about who you are. Like, what I'm saying, you have to use all these like big words and stuff like that. Like, kind of like mixing up, a conversation in order to, what I'm saying, to keep them like wowed. if you will, you know. And I mean,
Okay.
but his thing was like, it goes back to what I said about being consistent. And see, sometimes like, when you being consistent, it's like going back to like I said when I went that whole week, you get tired, man. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what got me fear because I was so scared about going up to a woman to the point where I just said again, oh, I had enough. I just didn't want to deal with it no more. I just said, you know what, whatever. You know what I mean? And I've, even said this to myself. That's why I, play my video game a lot because of the fact that that's what keeps my mind off of stuff. Because I know to me, this might sound crazy, but I know to me that won't ever leave me because it's always there for me,
Mm. Say that last part again. You said they'll never leave.
I say it'll never because I know that it'll never leave me because I know it's there for me.
Yeah. No, no. What was the part that was there for you? I missed
The
that. That.
PlayStation
Okay. Okay. Um.
or just gaming in general.
Right. Right. So, here's the thing. Before I put my 2 cents in, let me read this comment. Excuse me. Ooh, man, I'm like the burps. Having game is like being a chameleon. Pretend to be someone you are not, just to impress. Um, hmm. I'll, this is a tough one because I want to say it's like a yes and a no. So I'll kind of break down on a game a little bit. You gotta have a little bit of game, which means, in my terms, you have to know how to understand. For guys, you have to know how to understand women and know how to counter the games that they play.
I mean, but my thing is that why
Mhm.
why have to do that when you could just be yourself?
Well, the sad part about society is that the reason why they don't accept people for being themselves is because they can't be themselves as their own people. You know, like everyone lives off of fear. And the thing is, you can still be yourself. You know what I mean? Like having game doesn't mean that you gotta pretend to be someone that you're not, but you have to know how to play the game when somebody else is playing games at you.
Well, you
So
know what though? Speaking on that, before you go again, my bad.
mhm,
See, it's a guy that I just used to be cool with, right? That I just recently cut off. Now he himself is in that agenda, or should I say, or in that particular mode because of the fact that he himself is just like them. He like dogs them and then leaves them. Like he passes through them like he's Hugh Hefner or something like that, if you will. Just what I'm saying, just to say that. But the thing is that like he's going to be lonely himself because he has the same mindset as they do. As a man, what I'm saying, he knows how to, if you will, know how to talk to them to to lure them in and then kick them out. And then but yet he's still going to bed by himself is because of the fact that like he likes to play games himself versus where okay like don't you kind of just get tired of doing that to the point where like you be like, all right, I really want to settle down. Instead of that, you want to just keep playing games until the day you gone. That I don't understand.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. It depends on like where is he at in his mindset. Is he content with being alone?
Right. But see, he
And if,
had high priorities though too. Like, he had high demands. Like, he told me at the point where he had a girl he was talking to, right? And
mhm,
he basically was, collecting unemployment. She was babysitting, whatever. She was trying to get another job. And then after that, it didn't even last a month. He just dropped her just like that, just because they had different views. Because of, him having a job, a high paying job and stuff, and her not having anything, even though she's trying to retain, of getting a job or whatnot, and he just drops it just because of that. Like, again, though, because of different views.
Hey, now I hear what you're saying. It just the crazy thing is it's this actually sounds like what women do to men a lot. Because they have more options. Well, not real options as far as like having, the best high value looking men, but you have like a lot of orbiters and a lot of like girly men that's catering to you because you have a for JJ. And um it's like we have so many people that's coming towards you. You don't even really care about how the next person feels. You can just discard them like trash, and then you just move on and you find another person. Um, and it sounds like that's what the guy's going through. It's like he has this abundance of women that's coming to him, so he doesn't have to think twice about rejecting someone. Now, it also depends on what type of women is he getting. Are these women are like nines and tens? Like, are they like a dime piece, or are they like threes or fours or ones and twos that is like, well, you're just there as a placeholder for sex, but you're nothing more. And it sounds like maybe for someone who could just easily discard him like that without a care, he's probably dealing with a lot of ones and twos. Especially you tell me about the welfare part, like the food stamps and all that. Sound like he's dealing like with a bunch of like hood chicks or ghetto chicks. So
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't really care. You know, he's just there for the moment, just to have sex with them until he finds a better option. And once he finds that better option, then we'll see how fast he'll discard him. You
Well,
know?
see, thing is that, see, now he claimed, right, that he had a girl that he was talking to that, she had a career at the bank, what I'm saying, she had a son and stuff. She was very family oriented. And he dropped her because of the fact that, like, he was kind of skeptical because she had a son, and he didn't want to be, like, seen or get viewed at or viewed of, because she invited him, you know, like, to a family function, and he didn't want to go because of the fact that, like, he wasn't into all that stuff, and now he's, basically, he told me at the time that, oh, well, I just dropped her because, she had that son and stuff, and then she just, I guess it's because those things, because she was very family oriented, and she just didn't, I guess she didn't fill up to his, to his need, I suppose.
Yeah. And yeah, it sounded like he was like this definitely sounded like a guy who knows the game very well and definitely has a lot of experience playing the game.
Right.
See, the reason why he didn't want to go with her family was because he knows that family plays a big influence in a woman's decision making. You know, see, women they have their own social circle of friends who they constantly try to seek their approval. So the worst thing is that she brings if you was in his shoes and your girl brings you to her friends or family and they don't like you for whatever reason, that affects her decision making of whether she should like you or not.
So you're saying it basically rubs off on her in a sense to where, like,
Mhm.
she'll change the way she sees and feels about me in a sense.
Yeah. See, the thing is, the name of the game, man, is this. And this is not people who has to fake it, but you could build into that. So the way how the game is played is women love a man who have other women liking him. I know this is gonna seem crazy, but they're very competitive. They're even competitive in their own selves. But women like to feel that they're with a man who other women like. It's kind of like high school, pretty much. High school, you'll get a guy who's very popular will get a lot of women because women would know that this guy is so popular. Every woman will fall head over heels for him. But as soon as you go to college, that guy ain't popular no more. He ain't a nobody anymore. He has no value to your life. Same thing with a job. If if myself for me, if I become a CEO or a director or any sorts of management, people would treat me differently. They'll show a little bit more respect, but not only that, it will increase the value that I have in my workforce. Everything is subjective in your own realm. Everyone has a social circle somewhere down the line. You know, if you work, if you have a job, you're going to have a social circle, and it's going to be maybe one or two people who you talk to mostly. That's the same way, like with me. Hold on for a second, Dave. Good evening, buddy. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for watching. So yeah, it's like if I'm at a job and man, how am I gonna put this example? If I have one coworker to the next who's like talking to me, then it's like then everyone else want to talk to me. But if I have a whole bunch of people, if I have like a whole bunch of people that hates me, they're gonna look at me. Some of them gonna look at me like, "Oh shoot, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with this guy? You know, why don't this person like to be around with him? Why don't this person want to talk to him?" It's like people follow sheep. It's like that sheep like type of mentality. And so you have to kind of understand it's like there's certain levels into that. In another example, if women who wants to be in a position of power, one of the first things is that she'll pull back and she'll stop talking to you for a while. And what happens is most guys they get into a scarcity mindset, and scarcity means that excuse me, it's just basically you get into a state of fear. You get into a state of fear of losing the cooperation of a woman. And so because of that, then it makes you want to chase after her. All right, Dave, thank you for watching. We'll definitely chat soon. You and your wife take care, okay? Hopefully you guys are enjoying like your holidays. So so and that's the kind of games that they play because they're so used. The sad thing is they're so used to it, and men just fall for it. They panic, they worry because they don't really. Not a lot of men have had experienced those options of women, or they have that understanding of women, and so that's where they fall in the trap of over pursuing to the point that you're just chasing her and chasing her and chasing her and chasing her. And that's not what they really want. Well, and this like I said, this sounds contradiction, but the thing is, women want you to pursue them, but they don't want you to just chase after them 24/7. You know what I mean? Like that shows a lot of weakness and it turns them off. So it's just the way I handle these days is like this. Look, I'm already married. I'm not worrying about other women. I have no reason um to cater to them, to their emotions and their feelings, to listen to them talk about their boyfriends or girlfriends. Like I'm not at a space where I feel like I'm gonna be someone's male girlfriend. You want a male girlfriend, go find yourself, a simp. Go find yourself somebody who will care enough to waste his entire time to listen to you blabber about a bunch of nothing. You know, like the main things that I want to talk about is how we're going to get this money together, or what we're going to do. Are we going to go out? Are we going to have some fun? Like those are the things that I want to hear. I'm not here for no boring pillow talk. No mushy gushy or whatever. No sticky icky. I'm just here to talk about let's how we're gonna get this money, and how we're gonna have fun. Simple as that. So
So let me ask you this. So
mhm.
like, I mean, I understand, that point of view where you're coming from, but like, say like if they do need somebody to talk to, like are you like, I mean, as a friend, like you're saying that like you're not willing to be like a head for them to lean on, as far as like if they had like a problem with somebody or going through like their problems with their boyfriend or husband, what have you, just anything in general. Like, I mean, are you willing to listen to just for that brief moment? Or are you just like, nah, I don't want to hear all that? Or like,
All
how
right.
would you be able to handle that situation?
Well, for the sake of my YouTube channel, I'm not going to say the words that I really want to say, but this is probably the one time that I'll have to make it sweet. So to break it down, because I'm a married man, you know, um, and I like women. So for me, I would prefer to collect them like Pokemon. Gotta catch them all and befriend. So I have no like for me, I have no problems being friends with them and maybe troubleshoot their BS. But the thing is, what comes to my mind is this: women are really quick to come at, to give you all their problems and their emotions, but when it's your turn to
They don't want to
express
be
your
there for you.
emotions, yeah, they look at you like it's a sign of weakness. They look at you like, what the hell is wrong with you? They're not really in tune. Like the thing is, you gotta understand, it's like they don't really care about our well-being. Flat out. It's about their wants, their needs, and emotions. Now I'm talking about the modern women. Now you have some really down to earth chicks that will give you that 50-50, that will listen to you, be there to talk to you. Like there's a lot of them that's very nurturing. You know, I mean, sometimes I'll be in a bad mood and like I have a smile on my face, but then they're like, as soon as they look at me, like, what's wrong? Like, are you okay? You're not feeling well. This type of stuff. And I'm like, damn, like, what is it in your radar that you just detect that I'm not having a good day? you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm not gonna say like all of them is really that bad, but it depends on the woman you're talking to. So if you really have like really good solid friends that is really that you know in your heart that are really down for you and they're going through something, excuse me, be a friend and talk to them. But also be honest as well too, because sometimes they want to share stuff because they want you to give them advice that they want to hear, but they don't want you to give them the truth. See, that's where it comes to the catch. I'll give you the advice, but the truth is going to hurt because there's
Yeah,
always two
gotta
sides to a
keep it
story.
solid. Yeah,
Yeah, and some of them they get mad, and when they get mad, I'm like, look, I don't. Hey, you came to me with it. You already knew better. So if you get upset, even more upset, hey, just know it's your fault. Don't talk to me about your problems. Now, for the ones who are just flat out selfish and it's all about them, shit. The moment they start talking about like their boyfriends and all that, tell them like, hey man, you know, I ain't trying to hear that shit. You know, you like it ain't got nothing to do with me. You
you
just
keep
tell I,
dealing with it. So I mean, you have the brains to get out of it.
I
You
tell them like
yeah,
I yeah I tell them, hey man, like you complain about this person like or like stalking or text or whatever the case is. I'm like that's what you want, and I
right,
tell them that's a reflection of you.
right,
You know, so don't give me that BS. Let's cut that crap out. All right, and move on to the next. And I just keep it 100 with them. Um,
right.
which that's probably why like I had a lot of like young women, like a lot of women that kind of saw me as attractive. Maybe not because of like just like it's not just because of, like the looks, but it's just like my personality was just like I didn't really care too much. Um, Now I can't really say like I didn't care all the way because when I started going to church and all that. Um, you started to kind of care about what people think or what God thinks and all this other stuff. But now these days, I'm just learning. I'm at a space where it's like, I just don't give a hoot. Can't say the actual word on YouTube, but you know, don't want to get booted. But I would just say like you can't really care too much. Like I'm gonna say care too much. You can't really take life too seriously when
Hmm.
it comes to people. I'll put it like that. So you gotta live your life and you have to enjoy your life to the fullest.
Right.
And when
Just
you're able
focus in
to
on yourself and then your well being, basically.
exactly. See the thing is people make you feel bad for being selfish. But being selfish is the most rewarding thing. You ain't gotta worry about people hurting you too much. You ain't gotta worry about going out your way and not even getting a pat on the back for it. You ain't gotta worry about people using you for what you have, you know, or what you could provide. You focus on the things that fulfill your life and makes you happy as a person.
Right.
And when you get to that point, you'll be like the most happiest version of you. And the women will just be your byproduct. Women that come after you, that's because they love to see a man with ambition. They love to see a man with goals. Oh, Al, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Just make sure you're still on the line. But yeah,
Hmm. Just listen to
so
you, brother.
all good. But yeah, you just want they want a man with ambition and a man that could bring them adventure to their life. And once we learn to not be stagnant, but to keep going up and fulfill our own purpose of life, you're gonna have abundance of women. Um, there's something I was also gonna say too, but I know there's like a conversation that we probably had like maybe an hour ago, and that was about I know you was describing about your girl, like you were saying about like some about like big people, and you want to. It was something about like women that be in shape and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like you don't mind them being big as long as like they have a nice shape in their body, which I definitely agree with you on that part. Because what I was gonna say was like even myself, right? I would take a bigger woman than like a little skinny twig at any day. You know,
More
as
so like a toothpick.
a toothpick, yeah. You know what I mean? If I want, look, man, if I want to pick my teeth, I can just go grab a toothpick from the store. you know, I,
Right.
I don't need a dated toothpick. You know, spend my money, cater to a toothpick. You know, I can just buy that from like Walgreens, get 100 of these toothpicks, and pick my teeth. All right.
Hey, buy a whole pack, like man, two for $1, right?
Exactly. You know what I mean? Get that 2 for 2 deal. Look, man, I enjoy my T-bone steak, and that's what it is. I gotta have steak, man. Come on now. So, like, I don't mind a girl being thick as long as you have the shape. My problem is that, and you could be a small woman, but if like if you look like, hmm, if you look like,
A Down syndrome version
oh
of Queen Latifah.
yeah, you know what, man. Now I'm gonna have to put up the Google, man. Let me see. Out of shape
Or sloth.
looking. Oh yeah, people are gonna be. Let me see.
No offense to the big girls out there. I mean, we're just, elaborating on, as far as like when it just comes to just taking care of yourself.
Man, I don't care, man. Look, I'm not here to like be apologetic. If you out of shape, go fix it. Because you see, look, you same out of shape women will be like all fat positive about this bull crap. But then at the same time, I don't hear nobody talk about like fat positivity for like the fat men. Where the big boys at? You know,
Oh man.
where the sexy big men at? You know, I don't hear you. I don't hear y'all. I don't hear you. I don't see any of you fat women dating like these other fat men. You know, and
Like they
then
say
when
on
you
that
want,
one song, I don't hear you.
yeah, I definitely don't hear them at all. Period. So I mean, hey, I mean, don't be mad at me, like if I'm speaking of like the facts. All right, so
Oh, this dude though really brought out the.
we're gonna do like a little chart. Hey, okay. So most men, let me see. Of course, most men like us, like we're attractive. Actually, can you see the mouse move, Al?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good, good. See, most men like we don't mind. Okay, this is like pretty much the average, you know, that we mostly see on a daily, you know, and this is very rare for a man to see this. A woman who's nice. Man, hold on. Can I? Oh yeah, I could blow it. Cool, cool. All right. We're mostly like used to seeing like pandemic bellies and all that, right? But we're not used to seeing all this. You know what I mean? Like the 4 or 6 pack abs, the tone muscles, and all that. Which is why I don't blame most men for like kind of going a little bit crazy when it comes to seeing like fine fit women. Now over here, I don't know if you can see this clear, but this woman's 145 pounds. That's 145 pounds of flat, right? Standard. Can you hear me out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is 145 pounds of tonality and muscle. You know, this is what we're attracted to. Don't worry, I'm gonna pull up on a man for in a second, but I'm trying to find. She look like she's like a size. She might be a size like 2 or 3. I'm having a hard time. Okay, here's the thick ones, right? All right, so you have some girls that has like a body like this, right? Who has a little bit of rolls to it. You know what I mean? Um, but you could kind of tell like she's a little hippie, right? She still has a nice figure. It's just that around here in the midsection is what she has, right? You know, that's what is acceptable for most men. Um, I don't know why. I'm looking for out of shape women. Oh no, they're okay. Hold on, they're pregnant. I'll give them a pass. Hold on, but yeah, let's say, damn, I cannot really find a good picture right now. Okay, all right. Can you see this one?
Mm-hmm.
This girl look like kind of like to the third one. I ain't gonna lie, she kind of looked like Aisha Curry a little bit with a short haircut. But this is my example, right? Of someone who's large but is not fit, right? Where you kind of see like
She got a potato
abs,
arm, don't she?
look like Mr. Potato Head. Like I said, I like an hourglass, right? I don't mind coming like in all like sizes of the hourglass. But the moment you start looking like Humpty Dumpty, you know, who sat on a goddamn wall and probably broke that, and that's how you fall, we got a problem. Like we definitely have a
Oh
problem.
man,
You
well,
know?
you wow, man. I
Yeah.
mean, well, see, with her, I mean, she's not all that bad. You know what I mean? Just, you know, I was just being, you know what I'm saying, just funny with the whole potato arm or whatnot. But I mean, she's not all that bad. But see, in my particular form of when it comes to being out of shape, I'm just talking about like, my 600 pound life type of out of shape. You know what I'm saying? Like Jabba the Hutt, you know?
Yeah, and I can't really find a good for some reason. I don't know why. I just can't find. You know what? Maybe because I type out of shape looking women, but I should put.
Out of shape big women or Jabba the Hutt like women, or you can probably use like my 600 pound life, maybe.
Let's see. It has to be something like. See, the thing is, I don't like this part right here. You
Yeah.
know, that part would turn me off, but this one is not even. This is not even like bad. What I'm looking at is. Let me see. Mm, all right. Basically, I can't find.
There you go, right there.
It's close enough, but usually it's the one that has like this weird proportionate type of body where it's like
This
your
basically
stomach look like
discombobulated.
your butt cheeks, and I really wish I could like describe it well, um, but basically, I mean, not every woman is big like that. That's actually kind
That's
of
just
kind of
overdue
rare.
right there itself. I mean, that
Yeah,
just I mean, just you can't have discombobulation, like I said. You know, I mean, that right there, she just pretty much just gave up on life on that one.
yeah, it's just a little overdue. Like honestly, even that itself is like a bad example of of someone who's out of shape to me, but on an average. Basically, like it's not about like the size of it; it's about like how does your body complement you? You know, how does your body look? That's like for a man, like this guy right here. Um, you know, too skinny, uh, too round, like how like by the end of the day, how does your body fit you as a human being? You know, are you able to wear the clothes that you desire to wear the most, or are you just in denial of things and you're just like, all right, well, you know, um, I'm just going to stick with fat positivity, and I'm going to encourage people that they should love and accept me for who I am. But at the same time, I don't see none of these type of women who I try to describe going after men who are out of shape themselves.
Right.
And it's like a double standard. We don't see, we don't, society doesn't really promote the health and the well-being for the mental health for a man. You know, it always kind of revolves and cares around with them. You know, and like I said, it baffles me when someone who's not even all that, not even a dime piece, and you're making high demand, and you're walking like you're a 10. So, but you know, that's just me.
I mean, that's what makes the world go round, man. I mean, with that, I mean, it's just when it comes to how just all the above when it comes to both sides. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to shape, race, or however you want to call it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it just boils down to, what I'm saying, have a confidence within yourself. You know what I mean? Like you said, we all live in fear, but at the same time, have a confidence in yourself. I mean, because I'm pretty sure you've seen it. I've seen it myself though too. I've seen like one of the like out of shape men down here, even out there, have like one of the baddest women. And I think it all has to do with like maybe it's because of how the way, what I'm saying, they talk to them, or I think it could be a money situation. And sometimes I usually think that it all has to do with like a money situation when it comes to them like getting those women that us men would like to desire to have. You know what I mean?
Um, yeah, that could be one of it, but the other part is because then what's your excuse for men who are broke but that's out of
Very
shape?
true.
And when it comes down to it, a good man, I would say is Patrice O'Neal. I mean, God rest his soul. I mean, he passed away from diabetes and all that.
My
But
condolences.
yeah, but Patrice O'Neal, he's a stand up comedian, and but he was very aware of. Oops, I forgot. I didn't even do the screen share. Uh, okay, Patrice O'Neal. Uh, he was highly aware of female nature, and he had women, beautiful women that will like flock up to him. Now, here's the thing, right? Yes, like I'm for sure he was making good money doing stand up comedy, and there's also the status because women love men with financial status, um, guys who have social proof. You know what I mean? Um,
Just want to feel secure, and I get that.
yeah, yeah. And the thing is like, but see, what made him stand out was he had a mindset. His mindset was like, look, man, you know, I'm going to treat you the way how you should be treated. Most guys are going to put you on a pedestal because of your looks, so they're not going to be authentic with you. And so, because there's no authenticity, right, into that, then you can't be real. And women are looking for men who can really be real with them. If you can't be real, man, that's the problem right there.
That's the main key. You got to keep it real. You got to stay true to
Hmm.
who you are, and you know what I'm saying, to just be straightforward.
Exactly. You gotta be yourself, bro. Period. So if you're a gamer and you like that, here's what I would suggest: find some way to get into competitive gaming and make an income off of that. So whoever these women that come to you and be like, why you on this game, blah blah blah, you know, like I'm so sick of this. And I'm like, look, man, I'm out here making money for us, you know, and that's what it is. You making money, they have nothing to say about that. What are you
Right.
gonna do? You want me to stop? You want me to stop making money? They and that's how you end it right there. You turn your passions into a career. Um, man, I feel like there was like another story, but man, this topic was so good about video games and just like you know how the opposite gender behave and how most men behave as well too. It's like you can't I just can't help but to have these type of conversations.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like because I feel like man, like I could talk about a time where shoot, I remember I think I said hello to a woman. I don't even know if I even flirt with her. But I remember I had like a serious test and I needed to show up. I wanted my teacher to know that I was very serious. And this woman was pretty much like throwing her ass at me, you know, like literally like in college. And she wanted me to take her home to spend a day with her. You know what I mean? And I had to make a decision. Which one comes first? My education or a piece of ass? And I chose education over that. And it's crazy because it's like, well, I'm like, now these days, like, the degree that I have, like, it didn't really do much. But it was the fact that, you know, I remember being in a situation where I had a choice to which one was more important for my livelihood, my to build my life or to keep chasing after women. So, and I don't regret for the decisions that I made to improve on myself because everything's a learning experience. But I just remember, man, and that's just one out of many other stories. I remember, like, I had a girl call me the bleep, because she said I was too nice. I was, and the reason why she said I was too nice because at that time she wanted one of my friends and I to have a threesome. And once again, I'm on a man of my own personal mission. You know, like when it's time to, there's a certain time and place for everything. And at the time, my single life, school, my relationship with God was most important out of anything. And so because I rejected that idea to have a threesome. And the thing is, I'm not gonna have a threesome with a woman and another dude. You know, like that just doesn't work with me. You know what I mean? So of course she tried to make me feel like I'm a loser or I'm so weirdo for turning sex down. You know, if I really wanted that bad, I could go get it. But I don't need to put that as a priority over my education and my other values,
Right.
if that makes sense. So, man,
And plus, on top of that, too, you don't want to be in a situation where you may end up catching something you will probably most likely regret. You know what I mean? Because you don't know that other person, you know what I'm saying, might have, or you just don't know.
right, yeah, yeah,
And that's why, I mean, man, I'm glad that, you know what I'm saying, you stood back and observed the situation. Yes, she could call you stupid, or other guys could have been like, back to, you know what I'm saying, with your teacher or whoever the lady was back at your college. You could have been, they would have been like, oh man, why you didn't hit that and everything else. You wasn't stupid for that. You basically made the right decision to not fall for something that could cost you in the end. And see, by that girl telling you, oh, you this and that, whatever. Like, okay, so I'd rather be this and that versus catching something than me being up in the hospital not knowing if I'm ever going to get out.
I mean, not even just that. Like, I feel like I already had other women at that time who I could hit up. You know,
Yeah, right.
I didn't need that person in particular. And the thing is, if I was ever in a situation where I had no woman at all, period, no friend with benefits, no nothing, like as long as I'm striving to be successful and the results is paying off, that's my sex right there.
There you go. You know what I mean? Hey, that's all you need right there, man. That's the mindset to have because I mean, just I'm just saying, just the principle of it. It's just the logic of you. Like I said, just stepping back and observing the whole situation by you turning the cheek the other way and just be like, you know what, I would, but then again, I don't want to because of what I got going on right here. I'm not going to jeopardize that. You know.
Right, right. Yeah, I feel you. Uh, all right, cool, man. Seems like right now the Tyson fight is happening. Oh, let me see what's going on. Put on the big screen. Click the link. Click the link. As it
I
says
might
something.
tune into it. I don't know yet. I heard that can't nobody. I mean, they can't knock each other out.
Yeah. Oops. Let me see. And it says go hit the play button and go back. So let me see what he's talking about.
But just to cap off, all the topics that we've touched on. I just want to say that, man, life is just, you know, it can seem like it's easy, but it's not, and it's very unpredictable because we don't know what's going to happen outside the doors that we walk out of, and we just gotta do the best we can for ourselves to just try to make it to where we want to be, because no matter what we do, man, we're not complete yet. You know what I'm saying? To where we want to be at, because every day's a hustle, and we just got to do what we got to do.
Yeah.
And It's just ironic how people can just, base you off of what you got and who you are and this and that, just overall period. And it's like when you have little to none, as you said, like being broke
Mm-hmm.
or just, trying to make ends meet, is just that, oh, okay, well, he's working, he's doing this and that, but it ain't enough to satisfy me. But like you said, man, it's a competition. It's always like, let's play the game of who has the most, you know? And it
Right.
shouldn't be like that, because after a while, it's like, you just gonna, be like, okay, why is it that I'm still, alone? It's like you had that right person in front of you. The past couple of people that you've went through, you know, you've talked to, you just basically passed them up because they just don't have what you desire or what you want. And
Exactly.
then you ask yourself, oh man, I could have had this, I could have had that, but you let it go because of your mindset of you having these high standards, as we said before.
Mm-hmm.
If what I'm saying, if both sides was just look back and just see what they're doing to what I'm saying, to stop all this,
Yeah.
then they won't have any worries. But at the same time, I mean, hey, this is what makes the world go around. And that's why, you know, again, I'm very thankful for the lady that I have, because she's not like that at all. Me and her both on the same page. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she's not, materialistic. What I'm saying? She's laid back. She what I'm saying? She just like Kasheen, man. Like, she's very outgoing. She's fun. What I mean? She's open minded, man. She's not all that, on, oh, when you gonna, what I mean? Like, she's motivating, but at the same
Yeah.
time, she's not on that hype where she's all like, oh, well, when are you gonna do this? When are you gonna do that? Give me like a time limit. You know what I mean? She's
Mm-hmm.
always like, trying to uplift me to become better. Not being, negative and positive, like, in between. She's always uplifting, instead of just pushing me down, telling me, letting me know, assuring me that everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah. And I see, and that's the thing. You want that type of woman that will just hold you down, cooperate, and have your back to your best interests. And if you don't have that, especially now they says in 2022, I'm sorry, in 2020, um, you're gonna have a problem. You're gonna be dealing with so many women that you're just like, man, you don't even want to be a gamer, you know. And you know, it is a reason why like a lot of guys they withdraw from code approaching. That's what I call it. It's more like you're approaching a woman. You don't really know much what to really say. You don't really know her like that. You're just trying to get to know her. I don't blame a lot of people for not wanting to approach women because it's not the fear of talking, it's the fear of the outcome and how like it looks. Because most women they thrive off of like embarrassing men, making them look stupid, goofing around and showing, wilding out in front of their friends to make themselves look great. And you wonder why, you know, men don't really make an approach because they don't have time to be wasted. It's a lot of energy that you're putting out there. And you don't want to put so much energy for for someone who will not reciprocate back to you. So yeah. Other than that, I want to say, Al, thank you for tuning into the live stream,
Thanks for having me.
sharing your thoughts as well. Uh, everyone who came in to share their stories and to share their perspective on things. I just want to say shout out, much appreciated, and definitely like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Knowledge and Relationships. And if you have anything else that you want to share, hey, just go to the comments on my YouTube channel and just feel free to write something. But anyways, thank you guys again. Yo, Al, thank you for coming through like in the last short notice. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos, man. More open topics like this.
Absolutely.
All right, man. All right, you guys. Everyone take care. Have a great night. Peace out.